you as a man are a true rock in your family, and you know deep down what you have to do to create that peace. I feel like one thing I'm learning about life is that if you're a grinder, brother, you will survive, bro. Do you get what I mean? You can survive in the wilderness, my brother, if you're a grinder. So like sometimes, you know, I do understand some people are going through certain scenarios, but it's a mindset. I think sometimes it's down to laziness, you know.
Yeah, I feel like in regards to conflicts, Stu, I would say that I think over the years, I've learned to control my ego, I would say, is the main thing. Because I feel like that takes over. You know, although we're older in age, sometimes you realize that a young boy hasn't left you. You know what I'm saying? And you react to certain things like a young boy. Like, it's like, who are you talking to? Huh? You could never be talking. And it's like, you know,
it's like you're on a school playground.
Exactly. You're back on the school playground. You're just literally, you're thrown back into time, bruv. And you're on the school playground and, you know, someone stole your pound or something off the floor or whatever. And you know, you're going
do you
mad.
feel like that's
I think it's a man thing. I think
it is.
We've all got that, you know, if a man speaks to you in a certain way, sometimes you might feel a certain way, and that's your male ego in you saying to you, who's this person talking to? And it's like, you know, when it comes to your missus, sometimes it's like, you know, maybe the tone isn't the way you want it to be. Maybe, you know,
everything about delivery.
Maybe she didn't ask nice. Delivery. Yeah, maybe she didn't ask nice enough. But I realized when I removed the ego from, you know, the arguments, then I was able to say, okay, cool. Even if it wasn't in the tone I want to hear it at, let me try and address it in an adult-like way. But, you know, there are some times where you have arguments, things kick off, and bro, I don't want to talk to you for the rest of the night. And I know you're going to say, Ribs, like, you should deal with it on site. But sometimes I just can't bring myself.
Let me tell you, what I say to you is not a reality all the time. Do you get what I mean? Because you got to remember, it's biblically, I know what I'm meant to do, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Do you get what I mean? Like, bro, sometimes we all know, you know, women, they can be loving, but they can be also very unforgiving. Do you get what I mean? And sometimes a wise man will always tell you that we are always in the wrong. Do you get what I mean? So if you want sometimes that marriage to really last, like, you know, like sometimes, you know, if you look at a relationship from a stance like you're talking to your virgins and whatever, bro, it's not that. Do you get what I mean? Like, you as a man are a true rock in your family, and you know deep down what you have to do to create that peace. Do you get what I mean? You know the things you have to say. You know the things sometimes you have to overlook. Do you get what I mean? And through things like that comes wisdom, because people can't change. Some people can't change immediately. Sometimes with certain individuals, it's a process. It takes time. Do you get what I mean?
And environment's important as well. The environment's important. I think this is where, you know, I think you touched on it earlier around, if you had certain problems, you may not go to someone who isn't married to discuss that problem. And I think actually, if with couples, you know, whether you're dating or actually if you're married, I think it does help to have other married friends. You know, and actually, you know, it's not that you're sharing, you know, airing out all your dirty laundry, but I think it's sometimes just having conversations with other married people, other people in couples. If a lot of your friendship group aren't in relationship, this way it can be a bit tricky, because you think like you're just on your own dealing with certain issues, and actually you can't explain it to a man who's single or to a woman who's single because they don't really understand it. It's a bit like the whole thing of they explaining to someone who doesn't live with their partner. They may not understand certain things. You know, so
100%.
And I feel like, especially as well, it's, you know, when people say communication as well with your missus, I think, you know what, communication is key is one of them sayings that I think just goes over people's heads. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like something just said, like, communication is key. Make sure you communicate. Make sure you communicate with your missus. But as I've gotten older, I've started to realize, like, it's so, like, I need to even over communicate with my missus. Like, to where 100%. It's like, as I said, back to business meetings and stuff like that. Let's sit down at the table it doesn't happen, but let's try and sit down at the table each week and hash it out. Any issues, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the communication is so key. And I think as men, I don't know if we get that early on. Do you see what I'm saying?
No,
as men, sometimes
we're not the best. Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we're not open books.
Exactly. And we expect, have you ever felt like you expect your missus to know what's in your mind, like what you're thinking?
100%. Oh, bro.
It's like you had an argument with yourself in your mind.
Yeah.
She get it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me leave off a gender. Like I would say, you know, a book to read is 5 Love Languages. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's by someone called Gary Chapman, and you have different, you know, you mentioned about communication. It's about us also studying the woman that we're with. And I would encourage anyone who's listening, anyone who's watching this, look into that book, because, you know, some women, they like it when you help them do the laundry. They like it when you help them do that. Do you get what I mean? Some like quality time. Do you get what I mean? So these are the things you have to study your woman and understand, you know, sometimes doing the whole bouquet of flowers, you know, red petals on the floor might not be her thing. Do you get what I mean? And you'll get the response that demonstrates that. Do you get what I mean? But, you know, sometimes just saying that, you know what, don't worry. Today I'm going to do the cooking. She's like, wow, like you've taken a load off her back. Do you get what I mean? Makes a major difference. So that's a wonderful book that a lot of people should read, 5 Love Languages, because everyone has a separate love language. And it's about studying your woman to kind of understand, you know, what type of woman am I actually with? What's really her personality? You know, it's like, there's certain things that I know that if I say that to my missus, I know she's going to snap. So I'm not, let me just park it. Do you get what I mean? Or let me attack it from another angle. Do you get 100%. What I mean? So it's all of that.
That's facts, man. You know, I think reading is one of those things that I'm an advocate for anyway, but I feel what you're saying as well, but I feel like for women as well, study your man, because I think the modern man is faced with a lot of challenges nowadays. Do you know what I'm saying? And more than ever, you know, I love it more than anyone that, you know, when I can come home, get a plate of food and all of that, you know, all of that traditional stuff. But there's a lot more that goes on in a man's head nowadays than what he's going to have for dinner when he gets in. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like for women as well, try and understand your man, try and understand what he may be going through, the battles that he's facing. And it's all good. It's an understanding of both. Once you both try to, you know, are working to understand each other as people and as man and female, then I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong at all.
Anyway,
but
you have to know who you're with, definitely.
Yeah, but Rebs,
man.
Rebs, it's a pleasure having you on.
Always.
You know, you've dropped gems as always.
Hey, what you cooking,